Hi, my name is Chrissy, and in this video I'm going to be giving you a prediction forecast for January. Now, if you've tapped on this video, there's a high probability that there's a message in here for you to receive, so stay watching to the end and I'll just get started and we'll just let my guys flow through and I'll get the messages to you. So they're showing me the judge sitting up with his hammer, and it's kind of like order in the court, order in the court. I feel like January is going to have a lot of decision making. It's going to be a time of a lot of bills being passed. I feel like we're going to be making decisions. There's going to be some really concrete things happening. So when it's like that hammer bangs down, that's the final say. So that's kind of what they're showing me with the judge kind of dropping that hammer down and saying, hear, hearly, order in the court. So it's like you're taking charge again of your life. So it's sort of putting you in that position of the judge, like judge, jury, the whole lot, and you're making those decisions. And I feel like January is going to be a time of making some really decisive decisions on what's going to be happening moving forward in your life. So I think January's definitely got a very strong feeling of sort of authority, and this is within you. I feel like this is what's coming through. It's that bang bang order in the court and you regaining that control of your life, which is a great symbol because it's that strength coming through. Like you think of a judge, he kind of holds the highest sort of position in the court environment. So you know, it's kind of that sort of symbol that I'm getting. So January, it's about definitely making final decisions. It doesn't matter what that's around, but there's definitely a message about starting to make final decisions and completing it. So, and sort of once you sort of drop that hammer, you can kind of move on. So whatever that's around in your life, it could be anything to do with just moving forward, where your life's going. It doesn't matter what, whether it's changing jobs, doesn't matter what that it's relating to, but basically it's telling you to sort of finalize things now. Now, I've talked about this before. I've talked about in my 2022 videos about harboring resentments. Now, I feel like a lot of people are harboring a lot of resentment. Now, these things are kind of rising up in people and it's getting hard for them to kind of manage. So any sort of resentment is, to me, is old wounds. So what it's saying is that there's things in January that really trigger our old wounds. So you might be triggered by things from your past, but they're getting triggered now. And you've got to find ways to sort of manage these things. You can't just explode and burst things out onto people, because that's not socially acceptable. So you've got to find ways to kind of channel this resentment. And resentment is a very toxic energy. It's something that you don't want to be harboring and you don't want to be carrying around. So in January, I think it's very important that you focus on not carrying any resentment forward. We have to find ways to let that go now, and you can do that however you like. It might mean that you have to really, get a punching bag and start punching a bag, or just sort of expressing how you're feeling, writing things on paper, ripping them up, throwing them in the bin, or burning them in a fire. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but get this resentment out of your body, because resentment is a very toxic energy. And I feel like in January, a lot of people are having a lot of resentment going forward, and they've got to let that go, because that's how they manage to stabilize themselves. So really focus on not blowing up at the wrong people. I feel like people are like volcanoes. They're kind of ready to blow up on people, and that's not acceptable. So you've got to kind of manage your own resentments and the ways that you're feeling. So don't blow up on the wrong people in January. Now, they're giving me the message that time and space are money. So what they're saying is be good at managing your time. Be good of the spaces that you might be renting, hiring, leasing. Put a lot of thought into it. When it comes to January, you've got to think, is this going to be viable in my life if I rent this space? For example, if you've got a new business, or you might be moving your business, or you might be moving house, think, is this going to be an affordable decision that I'm going to make moving forward? Weigh up the pros and cons. It's saying very heavily in January to weigh up the pros and cons, because you don't want to overcommit. So what they're saying is you can end up overcommitting, and down the track, when I believe there's going to be a bit of a collapse, these things can put a lot of pressure on us, and it might only be $50, but if you're on a very tight budget, that can be very hard to find that $50. It might have to come out of the grocery money or the petrol money. So when you're making decisions about leasing, renting, whatever you're doing in January, you've got to really give that really good thought and weigh up the pros and cons, because that is definitely something that's going to help you moving forward. You don't want to get yourself into a lot of debt and then you're not receiving the kind of perks from that as well. So you got to look at, well, if I lay that out, am I going to get that back? So this is about sort of, like I said, weighing up the pros and cons in January when it goes to making decisions around leasing, renting, even buying too and purchasing things. You've got to also be aware that the economy can change at any moment, and I talk about this shifting in 2022 to just really be prepared for that. So pros and cons is very important in January. I feel like a lot of females are having a lot of trust issues. A lot of females feel very abandoned. And I feel like women, comes back to women having fought a lot of battles for years and years and years. And this is in all areas. This is about their status. Now, it's saying that women are on a much more even playing field now. But to me, there still seems to be a lot of hidden agendas where women actually, it's almost like a trick of an illusion of the eye. Like, women have the power, but they're not having the pay rates. So I feel like this is a big issue when it comes to high positions, CEOs, when it comes to sport. Sport is really coming to mind. Women are not in the same pay grade. Obviously, maybe they don't draw the same crowds and things, but I feel like these are going to be a few issues that might be talked about in January. I think women are really starting to want to get the same sort of pay rates. I feel like there's definitely big differences still, and that sounds like that's such an old-fashioned kind of thing. Like, is that really happening? But I really believe that is happening, and I think women are really waking up to that. And I think come January, women are going to start to fight those battles a bit and fight those fights of, well, we're doing the same things, exactly the same things, sometimes more, because women do juggle a lot. I don't think you men out there can deny that women do juggle a lot, especially when it comes to family. Not all, but a lot do, and they just want to reap those rewards too, and how their life is financially, how to stabilize their own life and be sort of independent as well. So I think that's something come January. I still believe cars are going to be a big focus in January. I think people's mindsets are really focused on the car industry. For some reason, I just keep getting the car industries are looking at what directions to go in. So they're kind of, I feel like there's going to be like a lot of this surveying where they're going to try and find out what are people's needs, what do they want, what are they looking for. We're getting a lot of this hybrid and this sort of electric car things being talked about, but is that going to be sort of viable? Do people have to set these things up in their home financially, putting in the connections and things like this? So I think these are a lot of things that are going to come up in January. There's going to be a lot of discussion around the car industry and how we're all going to move forward kind of into that future, because, you know, obviously we hear about things kind of starting to run out and we have to look at other alternatives. You know, we've got solar power, we've got a lot of things out there and a lot of options. So I feel like come January, there's going to be a lot of discussion and a lot of talk, and a lot of people are going to be putting their mind on that. I really believe that the car industry is going to have some really big changes in 2022, and I think I said that in my other video. But I definitely get lots of changes and lots of talk and discussion about the car industry. And obviously there's going to be a lot more competition too, because people are going to be getting in on that market, knowing that there's probabilities of all that going forward. It won't be just Tesla. Everyone's going to be looking at ways they can sort of navigate into that future of the, you know, cost-effective savings for cars. I feel like people are really, this year, that in January especially, they're going to really be getting back to those strong religious beliefs. Now, we can see over the years that religion has really evolved. There's just so many religions out there. It's something that's been a lot more accepted now. Here in Australia, I don't know where you're living. Let me know down below where you're watching this video from. But we have such a mixture of cultures here. You know, we have Islam, we have Australians, we have people that go to the Catholic Church. We have just so many wide variety of religions, and I feel that people are really accepting these things. There's a lot of Buddhist temples around and places to go to retreat. Religion, I believe, is something that's very personal to an individual, and we have to sort of open up and accept these things now. And I feel like religion's going to be something that's really going to help people in January. And if you're watching this video, I'm guessing that's kind of the message to you, is to find that, like, that place that brings you peace. Whatever you might have no religious beliefs, and that's fine too. That's just you being true to yourself. So these are the things that can kind of heal us as well and help us to move forward sometimes, because it's in sort of that religion, they're saying, that helps us to reconnect with people as well. So God, I remember as a kid we'd be forced to kind of go, more of a Buddhist, but as a child I was made to go to Sunday school. I'm sure a lot of you out there were, and it was kind of a fun thing. We did drawing and we met other kids, and it actually wasn't all negative. Like, not that it was negative, but it wasn't something that I was really into, but my parents kind of forced me to go, and I'm sure other people have had those kind of experiences too. But as you get into adulthood, you start to find your way and your interests and what you're sort of drawn to. So these are the things to start to look for in January that can really start to enlighten your life again and get you sort of thinking in that clearer way. Even reading books, starting to understand about different cultures too, because it's interesting when we're mixing with people. I live in the Snowy Mountains here in Australia, and we have the Snowy scheme, which had a lot of multicultural people come here in the 60s, and we had people from Austria, Germany, and we have a huge multicultural country town where I live. And it's just interesting to mix with different people and learn things as well from different people. So that's kind of what it's about in January, is to just all get remixing and reuniting and accepting each other's differences. Because religion is sort of sometimes the base of someone's community, but it's also about who they are. So it's also good to sort of integrate all these things. And I feel like January, that's something that a lot of us are going to kind of get back to, those sort of core beliefs in what's important to our lives, as well as accepting and understanding other people's as well. So yeah, focus on that. Focus on just getting back to your sort of core beliefs. So basically, that's kind of the message for January. I just think there's a lot going on, obviously, around everywhere, but we've got to just keep our life moving forward and get into that really good headspace. And January is about just moving forward. I really believe that. So look, hopefully these readings are helping you. If you want to check out my other videos, got tons of self-help videos on there that can help you in life if you're struggling with loneliness, fear, anxieties, any of these kind of feelings. Subscribe to my channel and you will get my weekly, monthly, and I do lots of yearly videos and global videos to help people out there during these really challenging times. Hit those like buttons, and also comment. I'd love hearing from you guys and where you are and how your year is starting off. So take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.